stars collide, you have one of two possibilities. If the stars are of like type, and it's more or less a head-on collision, not just a grazing fender bender, the two stars will tend to merge into one star, and you'll end up with the same kind of star. On the other hand, if the stars are very different, let's say it's a white dwarf star hitting a star like the Sun, a main sequence star, which is 100 times bigger and 1,000,000 times less dense, the white dwarf will set up a hypersonic shock wave as it traverses the main sequence star, superheat the main sequence star, blast it to smithereens.
Just about any star could be involved in a star crash. But the risks, of course, are much greater where the stellar traffic is most dense.
The reason the Sun is safe is because it lives in a part of the Milky Way where there are light years between the stars. But in places like the cores of globular clusters and probably in the very hearts of galaxies, stars are stuffed up to 1,000,000 times more densely. As a result, over the course of hundreds of millions of years, stars smash into each other, all kinds of stars.
Just how long one of these astrophysical train wrecks takes depends entirely upon how big the colliding stars are.
A white dwarf running through the Sun would take about an hour. So even on human timescales, just a few heartbeats, and our hearts would be beating very rapidly because that would be the end of the Sun. If you have a white dwarf plowing through a red giant, the timescale there is more like 5 to 10 years, because that's the crossing time through the really giant star. On the other hand, if you have two neutron stars colliding, all the action happens in about 2 milliseconds. So literally, if you blinked, you'd have missed it. You'd have missed 20 of them.
But I wouldn't hang around hoping to see one happen.
The number of collisions that go on in any one globular cluster is about 1 every 100,000 years. There are only about 150 globular clusters in the Milky Way, so you would expect to have to wait somewhere like, say, 1,000 years between collisions. But if I do spot one about to happen, I'll let you know.